Hi. Yeah, I'm head of search in the north, which I realise makes Branded 3 sound a little bit like Game of Thrones, but I think that's kind of cool. I do want to point out before I start as well that before I created the title, I didn't really know that there would be someone in here who actually does sell light bulbs, so I've removed all light bulb references for fear of looking really stupid. So let's kick off really. This is how we do search 101 based on what Tim's told us earlier and what we just learned from Joe. This is how we apply that in the real world now. That's what I'm trying to get across. So it used to be a case of you create some fresh content, something happens, that Google likes it, and you rank really well. And many people have really taken that to heart and just put things out day after day after day. And that used to work pretty well because of an algorithm called freshness, which basically meant that Google wanted to show to users sites that are updated really often. But, I mean, when we're looking at, say, ranking for what we want to rank for, when we're looking at keywords and topics, not just keywords, topics, but keywords also, we need to really work out what it is that we want to rank for and make sure we're sort of writing about that, because I think people are really afraid of writing about their products now. People want to be straight into a relationship with the user, build a relationship through content marketing, which is there's something really admirable about that, but you've got to get the basics right first. So Google thought it was pretty obvious what, content should be doing, but it wasn't, and then they rolled out the Panda algorithm in 2011 and started to penalise sites for this. It's still not obvious, so last year, as Tim alluded to, there is a penalty manual action that targets thin content with little or no added value, but we need to know what thin content with little or no added value actually is. So I'm going to give you a real world example from our friends, one of our clients at City Index here. So this is spread betting. This is a competitive keyword. It's not some tin pot keyword at all. This is an expensive keyword with a significant search volume. So what we've done here, I'm trying to make it as simple as possible. We're not saying that we need to rank for 100,000 keywords or anything like that. We don't need to rank for absolutely everything in a topic. But if we want to rank for the big keywords, we need to be covering off the key bases. So what we thought about this with spread betting is, if someone was searching for spread betting, what would they want to know? They want to know what spread betting is, because it's pretty complicated, and there's plenty of really low quality articles spread around the internet that just what is spread betting, but we don't want to be doing that. We don't want to be spreading that kind of content around the internet. We want our site to have the one definitive answer for that. The next thing we want to know is how to spread bet. So if I'm interested in this, if I think I can make some money at this, how do I go about doing it? And then when I've decided that I really do want to do this and I want to know where I'm going to spread bet, we need to know that too. Where do you spread bet? And that's City Index. So this is a keyword, just spread betting alone, about 6,500 searches a month. CPC for IG Index at the top is about 65 quid, so it's quite expensive. And City Index rank organically first, second and third for this because we've covered off the bases. In fact, if you want to know about how definitive the content has to be really, if you search for what is spread betting, Google scrapes City Index instead of displaying Wikipedia, and you get a nice little knowledge graph listing at the top, which is pretty cool. On that, at the bottom right there, that's the fold, and that's IG Index, that's the competitor underneath. So there's a huge benefit to crossing off even just the main bases. So this is the fundamental truth of how Google works in 2014 for organic search. It's exactly like a purchase funnel. Google goes in at the top, and if you have any segment of your funnel missing, Google falls out just like users do. So we're looking at awareness, we're looking at consideration, conversion, and the zero moment of truth, which I will come back to in a moment. But say, for example, breakdown cover. So the AA is on the left, and I think we can pretty much agree that they're not having any kind of problem with awareness. In fact, in terms of actual market size, the AA are the leaders. We can also agree that they're not having any problems with trust, because officially they're the most trusted brand in the UK, Post Office are second, so this is the kind of company we're keeping really. But the RAC are leagues ahead, and this is traffic share, so this is not just ranking 1, 2 and 3 for breakdown cover. This is ranking for, we've identified 86 things that we would want to know about breakdown cover, and how much of the potential traffic that's available for that do we actually rank for if we were the AA. So This is the maximum potential traffic per month. So out of all the search volume, we know the search volumes, because of not provided, we don't know how much traffic actually goes to our sites, but we can estimate that based on the total amount of search volume available to us. And if we ranked first for everything, which would be 100% traffic share, then we get that amount of search. So we can estimate exactly how much search from the keywords we're interested in each of our competitors are getting. So the AA has awareness nailed. It's got the expertise and authority as well as the trust, but it's not really displayed on the site at all, which is why it's so far behind in some of the competitors. I mean, let's be honest, no one has ever broken down at the side of the road and thought, fuck, I need to call Money Supermarket, they'll rescue me here. So this is exactly the graph that Tim showed us earlier, which is just, if we get the strategy right with the content, how we actually rank for big keywords as well. It's not just about ranking for the long tail keywords. I don't really care if only 10 people per month actually search for what is spread betting, because I know that if I present a really good result for what is spread betting, I'll rank really well for spread betting as well. And as it shows at the bottom, this is without link building, and links are still kind of a big deal. We really see them as part of this mix. So this is a zero moment of truth. This is the consideration phase that Joe was talking about. It's in 2011, Google published a white paper called Winning the Zero Moment of Truth, and the key takeaway from that really is, they said the average user before buying something consumes about 10.4 resources. And that's interesting because that's 2011, and in 2010 Google said it was 5. Since 2011, the amount of people owning a smartphone has doubled. The amount of people on Facebook and Twitter has more than doubled. I'm going to make a wild statement and say it's probably more than 10 resources right now. And some of these resources we can present on our site. Some of them are things like product pages, review pages, location pages, and all that kind of thing. But it's pretty arrogant to assume that out of, say, 30, for example, 30 resources that people are consuming, every single one of them is on our client's site. It's probably not going to happen, which is why we really need to be still thinking about links a little bit as well. The way that we sort of see this is, back in the day, it used to be a case of links being the majority of the algorithm, about 80%. It's not that links have got less important, it's just that the rest of it has got more important. It's 50-50 now, as far as we're concerned, but that doesn't mean you need fewer links. It just means that links are harder to come by, so we probably prioritise a little differently. But we can still build links, and build links that really influence this decision-making process. So this is a final example from me for one of our clients. This is Transform. It's a cosmetic surgery company. They have had similar problems to plenty of other clients we've worked with, where they've had a manual action, we've got it removed, and we really want to instill a sense of trust back into the site. So what we did was we took their CRM data for the past 4 years, we plotted it on a map of the UK. It's just inquiry data, so it's not sales data. We're not giving away anything confidential at all. But because we're showing how many people are inquiring with Transform for certain procedures, we're really having the best kind of social proof that we can think of for this. It's showing that we're an authority on the subject because so many people are actually talking about Transform and actually inquiring with Transform. And it should really inspire trust as well, because we've spoken to so many of people's peers who have actually considered getting a cosmetic procedure done. So we launched this on site as a map. The interesting thing is it's not just for links, it's for users as well. So when we're talking about links, we've got the stats in there that journalists find really interesting, how many people have inquired for X, Y, and Z, which has allowed us to get links on The Sun, which is where it was launched. So big props to Laura, who's talking later, and her team for doing a really good job with the link building. But links on The Telegraph, The Daily Star, 3 times on the Daily Mail, and all that kind of thing, which is bang on target audience. It's the people that we want to be talking to, so it's the links that matter. And this is the actual map I framed into The Sun, complete with Enquire Now and phone numbers and everything like that, which is pretty cool. And from a conversion perspective, fantastic. It's drove about 7,000 referral visits. If you're looking at just UK visitors, it's got about a 4% conversion rate for a piece of content that's created for links. But what's important about this is not how it's performing from that sense. It's about how we're trying to cross off these bases of expertise, authority, and trust in order to rank a lot better for the keywords that we want to rank. So let's go back to search metrics and talk a little bit about ranking for topics or keywords. So as you might have noticed, the map was called Brips, Boobs and Botox, and there's a good reason for that. They've never ranked for Botox. It's a significant keyword in their sector. It's a significant topic, really, that they're not allowed to talk about because of reasons that are outside of their control, regulation, that kind of thing. It's a product name. So just by creating an asset with it in the name, in this case, we've got people talking about transforming the context of Botox to move them from page 30 to keyword number 8 on the first page, which is great. And that big jump there is not just one keyword like that. It's about moving the needle on all the. Oh, moving the needle. I said moving the needle. Sorry. Sorry, Jackie. Moving the needle on all of the different keywords. And that's what's important to us. And in terms of actual performance, it's increased organic traffic by about 100% year on year. So it's about creating links, and something that SEOs always say, it's not about having more links, it's about having the right links, and what they actually mean is having slightly better links than we would have built you a year ago, and that's not the case. It's about having one or two of the right assets that will have people linking to the right pages. You can't really get people linking to commercial pages anymore, but you can get people talking about you in the context of what you do, talking about you in the context of your products. And it really does provide results in organic search as well. And that's me. Thank you.